Hey, look, if you're an online entrepreneur looking forward to use YouTube to get clients, then generating winning video ideas is one of the most important things to do. Most entrepreneurs might sit in front of the camera without with no clear clue of what to film and just blurry ideas, or worse, they overwhelm themselves with 50 random ideas that never get made. It's frustrating, it's time consuming, and honestly, it kills your momentum. And you know that very well. But what if I told you there are repeatable systems for brainstorming video ideas that attract the right audience based on the systems that I used with my clients? Why should you listen to me? Glad you asked. I'm Eddie, and I help online entrepreneurs grow their brand on YouTube that actually stands out to get clients from it. This is just a call to prove my authority. And by the end of this video, you might as well just end up getting on a call with a high value lead like I did with Iman Gadzi. O'Reilly, who thanks to one thumbnail and title change adjustment, he hit his first 10,000 view video, and this video has now over 16,000 views, as well as getting calls booked from it. Or Huda, who I've helped in 2 months, get over 40,000 views and 2,500 subscribers and over 4,000 hours of watch time. Even down to myself, I started creating content on YouTube since 10 years old, and my mission now is to help 1 million entrepreneurs. A bit ambitious. Ambitious a lot, if you say. Now, the first point is getting successful ideas is easy, actually. And there has been a shift going on in the industry, and it's actually easier now to come up with great ideas based on data. In fact, even the people I'm working with, at times, we have too many good ideas. And we get to the problem of which ideas we should actually make now. And yep, that's a little foreshadowing for you. Nowadays, there are better proven ways to come up with ideas, and one of the best ways is using this tool called oneof10.com that is designed to help you spot outlier ideas in your niche so you can adapt them. Now, as you see, this is the software in front of you. To keep one thing in mind, this software is paid. It's $39 per month. But now it's $49 per month. They actually increased the price just so you can see the value of it. Now, to be clear, I'm not an investor, I'm not anything in this software, and there's still a way for you to benefit from it for free. And it actually relies on downloading the extension. The extension is free. You can download it on your Chrome or browser. Then, when you go to YouTube, go to playlist and create a playlist named Outlier Ideas. This is where you're gonna start storing the outlier ideas that you can then adapt on your channel. And I also suggest for another tool that is easy and free to use is vidIQ. So I also suggest you download their extension because it's kind of like better than one of 10, but each one has their use. You can see over here in my YouTube when scrolling, there are some things over here, and it's the outlier score by vidIQ. So for example, this video has performed 12 times better than the average of this channel called Bog. And so, for example, there are two ways to kind of go about it. When you're scrolling YouTube naturally and you're trying to learn, and you kind of see that there are some videos that are really interesting, like Meet the Marketing Genius behind Alex Hermosi's $106 million book launch. This is a really interesting idea. Yeah, and you go to the playlist you created and you save to the playlist and you go to outlier ideas. Even if the idea is not in your niche, you can still very well benefit from it. The other way is to be more intentional. This is where the 1 of 10 extension comes. You can see that there are some buttons over here to click, and you can go to one of your competitors or people you admire and see what videos really perform well. And those videos need to be performing better than the average of the channel. So if we go to over 2x, like videos that perform 2 times better than the average of the channel, we can see there are 3 videos. If we go to over 5x, we can see that there's this one over here with over 13.7x the average of the channel. If you go to 10, there's only still 1. And you can go and save it to your playlist. If you still want to benefit from the outlier feature for free, you can create an account inside vidIQ for free and go to this section in the homepage to find trending videos and go, for example, let's say startups. And you can see that they allow you to see a number of outlier videos over here before you unlock everything with the paid subscription, which is still a good deal. One thing though is to be more specific about the keywords. You can see over here that My Car Startups compilation part 2. This is not what we need. Let's say how to get SaaS clients. And you can see over here, there are some videos to take inspiration from. You see, in general, it's about drawing inspiration from your niche as well as other niches is super important, since for the most part, everyone in the same space is looking at what's happening in the same common niche. So that's why drawing inspiration from other niches is so important to keep things fresh. And that's why, like, once a video goes viral, soon everyone adapts it. Like, everybody looks the same, and the audience and viewers might feel like the content is similar everywhere, and like, which is to be expected. That's why your mixing is actually super important, actually. Even for example, in a tool like 1 of 10, they mention it in their website that it's about taking inspiration from different sources and remixing to get a perfect result, like in the case studies they're showing over here. So if you want to build something that other people start copying, then you really should start remixing. For example, I learned from Caleb Ralston, who is the ex-strategist for Alex and Layla Hormozy, that they don't take what others in their space are doing. And that's why they feel and look different. They don't even take inspiration from people in the business space or the entrepreneur space. And at the same time, they used to take inspiration from other niches like gaming, which may sound wild.
I've heard you say, at least when you're working with the Hormozis, that you guys didn't look at the content other people created as part of your pre-production. Is that true?
I want to qualify it by saying, yes, of course we did, but not within our lane. With them, for example, I was not consuming business creator content. I like to look at other niches, right? A big one that I like to observe and see trends on and look at packaging formats is any creators on the video game space. I think they do an incredible job of coming up with new packaging formats on YouTube, as an example, right? I like to look at other industries and borrow formats from them. The problem with what majority of people are doing is they look at the top dog in their space and they just duplicate everything. And guess what you will always be? Number 2, tops. And so I think the reason why over the last 3 years, we were the pioneers and everyone was copying us is because we weren't looking at anybody in our fishbowl.
Now, the next point is to abuse your client's needs. Before you call the cops, let me explain. We will call this problem and outcome farming. Your viewers, like any human, just have a lot of problems. A great idea at its core solves a painful problem, preferably a painful problem that nobody else is solving. And essentially, when you look at it, this video solves a painful problem. After having calls with many of my target audience, I realized that things like thumbnails and titles and ideas and like the thumbnails, and so even combining the points I mentioned earlier, like about remixing and everything, I tried to create a unique packaging from taking inspiration from this video, and now we have kind of a unique thumbnail and title combined with a unique problem that you guys struggle with. And yes, thumbnails and titles are also part of what makes an idea good or great, since ideas nowadays are abundant, and as I showed you, there are even tools that people already use, and we'll get more to that in a bit. Another way to think about it is the dream outcome based ideas. This one is similar to the problem farming, but rather it's, well, dream farming, outcome farming. Viewers have goals, dreams, outcomes they want to achieve. You can be as specific as you want depending on who you want to attract. If you're a startup owner, for example, you could make a video about getting the first 100 users. And since you're an online entrepreneur, doing a lot of discovery calls is just part of the process. And so you can use those discovery calls to really get to know the deep secrets of your audience and what they really struggle with and what they want and the perfect solutions they'd like, not only to benefit your business but also to make content about essentially what they struggle with, so that you don't keep theorizing, oh, maybe they want this or they want that. But now with the discovery calls, you can say, oh, I know for sure they want that. And remember that all of this is meant to help not only attract attention, but the right kind of attention that even will convert into clients, partners, and collaborations. By now, your mind is already fired up. And you may already realize that, hey, I have good ideas. Maybe they're just not good yet because they're not framed the right way with the thumbnails and titles, which we'll get to in a bit. But before that, I want to mention that there are some formats that simply just always work and you can adapt them into any educational niche. Since YouTube is becoming actually more standardized and it's even apparent in the ideas you see on YouTube, kind of like a lot of people are using the same ideas and like the same thumbnail formats and the same thumbnail styles. Things like that have just become a staple of making educational content and nobody is considering it stealing or something like that, which gets us to format adapting. Just like adapting outlier ideas, whether from your niche or other places, formats are a huge part of YouTube. Consider them like buckets, and some formats could widely be adapted across essentially any educational niche. Things like podcasts, challenges, breakdowns, personal stories, the kind of a challenge format of watch me do something big in a short time frame. And for example, you being the first to adapt something like that into your space could give you a huge advantage. For example, one of the ideas I haven't seen people really adapt when it comes to education is the versus format, the kind of $1 versus $1 million house or Samsung versus iPhone. Ideas are more associated with entertainment. But what about ChatGPT versus other AI bots? Or code versus no code. And lucky for you, I literally have a page with proven formats that you can start making today alongside thumbnail system in Canva. These are like high quality thumbnails. It's first link in the description in my group. This is especially for you if you're tired of the YouTube bullshit. You're sick of the gurus promising $100,000 per month and 20 million views in 3 days while your videos barely pull 10 views. If that's you, then good. You're exactly who I built this for, and you already know me as Mehdi, the YouTube strategist who actually works with entrepreneurs, and I opened a free community inside the platform school, and every week I'm going to be hosting 60 to 90-minute call where you can ask me anything about YouTube. No hype, no lies, more about clear, honest brand growth on YouTube with other people like you, other entrepreneurs, especially if you really want real support and real answers and application and not just empty videos or just theory. You can join the community and come to the live calls. Welcome to the revolution. Speaking of thumbnails, when we combine all of the elements we said before from what your viewers suffer and their goals to adapting outlier ideas and formats, you could really quickly end up with a lot of great ideas, which isn't bad. But then the question becomes, are they actually great ideas for you? Let me explain. Now, this is interesting because a big part of how great an idea is comes down to how well it's packaged with a title and thumbnail. So many people think, oh, I really have an amazing idea. But really, if you don't even have a good thumbnail before making the video, then it's not a good idea. And these things go really hand in hand. Yes, you can fix the video by updating the packaging after like you published it, as you can see over here, but it's much better to think about it more deliberately before. Think about it like your business. Instead of making the offer based on your service, you make the service based on the offer and what people actually want. You may be selling AI agents, but what your offer may actually be is selling sales automation, for example. It's the same and even more important with videos to take into consideration the thumbnails and titles. But before that, there's one last step. Since based on what you've learned about making data-driven video ideas and not just ideas that you feel like it, ideas that are based on outliers on other people's channels, based on adapting proven formats, based on using your audience's needs and wants to your advantage based on the calls you've had with them. It's inevitable that you're going to end up with too many ideas. And as we mentioned, packaging an idea is part of what makes an idea great. And you can't afford to make the packaging for each one actually. Like at a point, trust me, you'll just have too many ideas. Just impossible. And so now, how to actually prioritize strategy and validate ideas. It's more like decision making. And we have a system for this one too. So now it's about prioritizing, validating these ideas. The first way is to check if the idea is going to hit the three layers of viewership: the core, casual, and new. And by following the system in this video, this one is going to probably be checked off. This is more like to keep yourself in check in case you decide to go, let me brainstorm ideas, and we brainstorm a lot of ideas and you end up with, oh, which ones to actually do? I don't know. And you gotta check first, well, does this go with what your target audience wants and everything? And does it actually hit the core, casual, and new viewers? It's more like a safety net. The second way is really important, perhaps the most important. And it's to see whether the idea aligns with the topics you want to cover as well as your strategy. You know, what type of formats or buckets you want your channel to be known for, and like what's your strategy? Is your strategy currently to hit a really niche, is to hit super niche audience, or to really go wide? Depends on the moment. You may be, for example, in the beginning more towards targeting niche audience, then decide to let me actually expand. You may have two ideal client profiles, and in the beginning you may be like, well, let me attract this first audience because of this, and then later you may be, what, let me try to attract my both ICPs. You see, this one is very crucial since you want to make sure you make the right videos that will make you money, get you clients, and it's about being intentional about it, even down to getting views. For example, and this happens to me as well, you may have a great idea, but it's not a good idea at the right moment. And fun fact, I have a few scripted videos that I chose to delay because I realized later that, you know, they're not right for now, and I'm making this video to save you a lot of time and experience. One of the people I'm working with wanted to adapt a specific format. I told him it's a great idea. In fact, it's actually great to adapt it into his niche. He's in a special niche. But at the moment when we were talking, it wasn't really good. And it would have like super high potential to end up going super viral, but at the end it could end up doing the brand more harm than good. And actually, he kind of experienced it with a video he wanted to make anyway. It's kind of about his story, and it's not really related to the niche of the channel. And that video ended up blowing up, and he got a lot. And he didn't get a lot of leads from it. I mean, he got dopamine from it. He kind of like told me he was happy that he got like a lot of views. He saw the dopamine and it's like everything, but like it wasn't really a good idea for him to do because it just like kind of like messed up the metrics of the channel and got, I don't want to mention the niche, but it simply got him a lot of people who are over 40 and 50 years old, which is kind of crazy, and I didn't even expect that. And it's okay to skip some videos. Maybe you don't have the right proof for them, or the production of an idea is just too demanding, or it's just gonna attract, or it's not gonna attract the right people for you at the current stage. And it's okay. You'd rather want to have niche fame than fame for the sake of fame, after all. You want to grow your business, after all. You want your videos to end up generating you money and at the end build a great brand. And the last step, once after filtering by these two metrics that I just mentioned, is to check which idea you're most excited about at the moment. Now, I don't want this to be like, do it no matter what or whatever, like type of motivational speech. I'm not Alex Ramosi, I'm not David Goggins. Like, at the end, you're doing this long term and you want to have fun with it. Like, reminder to have fun in the process. As I mentioned, you're not gonna have fun with everything, but at least like some videos, like with with the people I'm working with, like sometimes they're just like, I don't want to make this video, and it's okay. Like if they don't want to make, if like at the end, like as I mentioned, this is something long term, and you want to make sure you at least have some fun with it, and check if you actually want to record such a video. And I'm not just talking about like when you're lazy or anything like that. Like I'm talking like you genuinely don't want to record a specific video, because a video that you're not going to end up putting your heart into it, then it's pointless. And people, sense emotions. They're gonna know from the video that, this person is kind of faking it, or it doesn't seem to be even wanted to film this video or something like that. So keep it in mind. I already know how tedious the process of making videos. I've been making videos myself since 10 years old, and to me it's kind of like I developed a natural process. But like, while running a business at the same time and making content, it's kind of like, in fact, I'm kind of working on too much content because my business is related to helping entrepreneurs make content. So, like, in a way, I can't run away from content. That's so funny. Oh no, like you gotta have fun with it. Essentially, YouTube brand should be an extension of your business and you as a person, not a burden, of course. It's not always going to be fun, as I mentioned, but try to have some fun with it. And remember, if you actually want no bullshit, get proven systems and live advice customized to your needs, templates, and everything else, you can join the revolution. Link in the description.